Minister Emmanuel, uh, can you give me a status of the SCDF? A couple of weeks ago, I wrote about this, that you have asked certain members of the board to resign. And then can you make some comments about the explosive letter that was published and all the information in there regarding the Vida Nova funds and the homes you plan to build?
Which one do you want answer first?
Give me them how you like.
Yes,
Keeping
well,
in mind that that was 2 questions.
there's actually 3.
Thank you, Minister.
Well, concerning Villanova, they will be here in May. They will be in St. Martin in May to give a full rundown. I received an email from them today stating that they will be signing an agreement and going over all the paperwork with the landowner and the contracts with the developer and stuff like that. I think that part of it is for them to explain how they're going to move forward with it. When I was in Curacao last, we came out and it was a done deal. Everything was set and is in motion concerning Villanova and the houses that are supposed to be built, the 167 homes that are supposed to be built in the Dawn Beach area. I don't know if that answer suffices enough, but that's as far as it goes right now with the project with Villanova. They're in discussions right now with the landowner and the developer. And they sent me a message this morning saying that that's the trajectory that they are on right now, finalizing that agreement. Concerning the explosive letter, that's just what it is for me, an explosive letter. And there's nothing much I can comment on it. There's no name to it. There's no, that's just what it is, an explosive letter. And again, concerning what Minister Lee said a while ago, I think journalists and media houses has a role to play to give factual information and accurate information, because I can go and dissect that whole article and I can tell you maybe 99% of the information is absolutely not true. But is it something I want to get into? No, because I am moving forward and staying focused with what I told the people of St. Martin and where I'm going with this project, and that's not a distraction to me one bit. And the other one was concerning the St. Martin Housing Development Foundation. You know, I said it before that there's a fundamental problem, in my opinion, in the way the management is functioning at the St. Martin Housing Foundation. I met a gentleman this morning, and he was telling me, Christopher, in the next 2 days will be a year since I paid down to purchase a home. In the next 2 days will make a year. He hasn't moved into the home as yet, and all they're telling him is that a letter is at the minister's cabinet to sign. And I was troubled by it because I'm trying to figure out what letter are they talking about? What letter are they talking about? So in reference, they took the gentleman's money, $8,000. He paid on the home. The banks are calling him. And I'm talking about in the next 2 days, which means I was last year, April 21st it was. And here we are today in April 2017. He hasn't moved into the home as yet. So I send him up to the staff to meet, and we are trying to figure out what are they talking about? What letter are they talking about? Come to realize, yes, they did send a letter, which was from since last year. June, they sent a letter, which reached the cabinet in March of this year for a rendering, a change of purpose. Why? Because the land in which they built the homes were for apartments, and they went and they built standalone homes. So you need a change of purpose because the land is designated only for apartments, and now you change it for standalone homes. And yes, the letter was there, but we had no knowledge of what it's for because it came in last month, something that was sent from last year. But what I'm looking at is the manner in which you treat people, because you can't go and build on property without getting all your permits first. If you knew that you can't build standalone homes on the designated property, why did you go and build it before getting the change of purpose? That's how it works. So you took the money, build the home, have the gentleman waiting a whole year to move in to a home. And he can't because he hasn't received, or you haven't received, the change of purpose from apartments to a standalone homes. And those are some of the problems and some of the issues that I'm having in the manner in which this foundation is being managed. I've had discussions with a few of the board members, and they have indicated that they will make their position available, and I'm giving them time to do that.
Minister Emmanuel, concerning the homes, I understand that you met with the union, the communications union, and they had some requests. Can you tell us a little bit about that meeting?
Well, I haven't met with the union, but the president of the union, I think his name is Mr. Avers. Yeah, he called me because what happened is Telem, GEBE, and UTS are all clients of Villanova. And when the story came out, they called Villanova. And they said to Villanova, look, listen, we heard that this is what is going to happen in St. Martin, and Villanova indicated that, yes, this is their intentions and the way they move forward. And they said, well, you know, you need to instruct the minister, or you need to let the minister know that we want first preference to the homes. But you have to bear in mind, Andrew, is that what is happening here is unprecedented. It have never been done before, where the people of St. Martin is being offered home ownership and not necessarily renting a home. I'm talking about having your notary fees included, your first 5 years home insurance included. These are sort of the discussions I was having with Villanova. And Villanova realized that they have made a mistake, because in their calculations, they have more than 167 clients. And they asked me, do you have a problem with that, giving them first preference? And I said, yes. I said, because the whole idea is simply for first-time home owners. I never said nothing about civil servants. I never said nothing about low-income homes. I never said nothing about social homes. I said affordable homes for first-time homeowners. Now there are many individuals in GB, in Telem, and UTS who already have a home. So am I going to say, you know, what about your person, Andrew, who probably doesn't have a home and qualify for the home? Should I say, no, Andrew, you can't, it can't happen for you, because I got to make preference our first choice to a Villanova client? However, the consensus and the agreement that we came to was we're gonna set aside between 60 to 80 homes for the first-time homeowners of all Villanova clients. And because of that, now they was like, okay, well, we didn't know. And I told them, well, this is what happens when you don't invest. When your laws and your bylaws say you should invest 60% of your earnings in the countries where you're collecting their pension. I mean, yes, you invested in the harbor and you invested in the causeway, but that's not invested in people. And that's the problem that I had with Villanova, and there's where the discussion took part. You have to invest in people. You're taking their pension. GEBE have been with them from the inception, from what, 40, how old is GEBE? 40-something, 50-something years? That's their main core client, they said, from the beginning of GEBE. They have been paying pension into Villanova. And because of that, now Villanova bought a bank in Curacao. So you have a Villanova bank in Curacao that's giving mortgages. We are talking about 5%, 4.5% that we will introduce into the people. They want to come to St. Martin. They will be coming to St. Martin. And that's the discussions that I had with them. So yes, I spoke to him, and he's pleased with it, that some of the homes will be reserved, if I should say, for the first time home owners. Yes.
Thank you very much, Andrew, for your questions. Bibi, you have the floor.
Thank you, Cedric. Minister Lee, thanks for that nice lecture for the media. It was good, and I'm very happy that you mentioned the email. So it was indeed, there was an email. Now, for my questions, Minister Lee, can you tell me if the agreement that was made between whichever party, whether it's SZV and VAMED, the settlement agreement, if that has finalized, and if VAMED was paid, if so, by whom?
Let me first go back to your comment, because I'm not sure if I touched on this in my discussions. You know, number one, you speak about an email. The email's from what I can tell, I'm not sure if this is the same email that you're talking about, but I presume that it is. You know, this is an internal email from the Ministry of TIAT, so there's a concern about how this goes out in the first place, because our partners should be able to work with the ministries with the confidence of knowing that what they're communicating it remains within the ministry. And you know, this has the risk of damaging the relationship between St. Martin and key strategic partners. But in the same email that I suspect is the one that you're talking about, it talks about comment from the tourist office. However, given the approval lies with the Minister of Tourism and / Council of Ministers, we cannot guarantee the request will be approved any faster. This is before